Hey everyone, I'm Goat the GM, and thanks again for joining the Ret-Con-Artists. Episode 3 of the Bazaar is, well, a little bit bizarre. It sets the scene for everything that might be going on in this strange desert marketplace that they've found. They learn a little bit more about this strange character that they encountered last episode, and they think they're starting to be on the case of what the hell is going on with Mason. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. Thanks again for being here. Okay, let's do the thing, everyone. Hello.
Okay.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
We are the Ret-Con-Artists, and we're here today to play Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, also known as D&D Next when it was still in its early stages. This is going to be a wonderful, informative session tonight. That's as far as I've really thought ahead for this little public service announcement. How's everybody doing? Thank you.
I was like, oh no, did we change
I
the
was
game?
very concerned for a second. I was like, well, I know nothing. Good night.
Oh no, I was about to
I'm just thinking, is he listening to, what's that radio station?
NPR?
Yeah, has he been listening to NPR on his way to work?
Yeah, a little bit. Or Night Vale. Night Vale works too. Alright.
Night Vale's creepy though.
It is
We
so
should just get high and listen to Night Ranger, man.
Yeah, that works.
I do not endorse these decisions.
It's because he doesn't like Night Ranger.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
high right now.
This is an intervention. Yeah.
No, I really gotta go.
It's a crap. Sorry, anyways. Not a whole lot to announce this week, unless anybody has anything that they feel like they want to mention that I might forget.
We leveled up.
We leveled up.
It's true.
They leveled up. I don't get levels because I'm level infinity, so...
Remember what I said earlier about the whole head thing?
Right?
Anyways.
I don't think there's
Okay,
much else
Jay-Z.
really.
Shit boy.
I don't think there's
Anyways.
much too much we can touch on, is it?
Not really, no, other than we're waiting to see and hear from more of you in the Discord and on the Twitter, so please feel free to let your friends know about us. If you have nerdy friends or people that you think would just like D&D, tell them to come on by. We are really happy to have everybody around, and I mean, we have a lot of fun chatting with you guys in the Discord and hanging out and leveling up there. So if you have anybody that you know would love this stuff or might even just like this stuff, send them our way. Send them the podcast link, send them the YouTube link, they can catch up. And bold of you to assume we have friends. This is true. None of us have real friends. We all just know each other through the internet, and that's it.
He
Internet
says,
friends. That actually is
Well,
a song.
Go
Is it?
strike him with my fist right now.
Yeah, because you're
Let's
not
take
my
a
friend.
poll. Who wants to see our GM get slapped
By
really
Tara.
hard?
How
Fly
much
me
do I
out,
have to
there's
pay
one.
you?
Oh, shit.
Oh, you know what? For your
What
for your
if I
charity stream,
paid in a
that's what we're gonna
subscription?
do.
Subscription
Oh my
to
God.
me getting slapped. Oh dear lord. All right, I'm gonna move this topic along before it gets too violent.
Every time there's like
Paul,
a
do it.
$10 donation, Paul has to go up the stairs.
Yeah.
What are you doing Monday? Well, I'm getting slapped all day for charity.
That
Get
could be one of the
natural
things,
blushing.
actually. So actually, thank you for reminding me, you guys. I know that we had mentioned last week that we were talking about maybe doing some sort of a charity stream, maybe even like a streamathon or something like that involving a lot of us. We're thinking about starting off with Tabletop Simulator and then moving on to our own various things and streaming it through the Ret-Con-Artists channel. So
I actually got a crumb in my nose.
very good. So if any of you guys have any ideas for us on how we can improve that, or any charity ideas that you might like to see involved, we really don't have any of the details quite hammered out, and that's going to be in the next couple weeks, of course. So it's kind of crunch time to post all that up. So if you guys have any ideas, let us know. Otherwise, not a whole lot else to talk about, except who wants to do a recap of the last session?
Never mind. I don't want to say.
Well, you already started talking, so go ahead.
So now you have to.
Yep.
Well, I just wanted to let everybody know that I shoved a weapon down a mimic's throat, but that's about it. Let's just...
You mean Cinderella?
Yes.
Not.
We're adults.
We pissed off some guy, and then that guy sent chests and stands at us, and then he went into a well.
We fought what we called a vault of mimics.
Basically.
Mm-hmm.
That is the proper terminology.
At first it was a flock of mimics, but then it turned into a vault of mimics.
Then it turned into a murder of mimics, and then it turned into a vault of mimics.
Luckily there was no murder involved, actually.
Yeah, I almost died.
Yeah.
It was very close, but I didn't.
So I guess I'll continue the recap since you guys are just more interested in the disgusting innuendos of mimics.
Look, man, I just wanted to make sure we got the best highlight of last time.
You said recap. You didn't say in-depth.
That's true.
Oh, I also ripped a chest off my face and threw it at the guy.
And by chest, that is also not an innuendo. That is a actual mimic treasure chest. So,
I guess that could be an innuendo.
Says you.
You know what I just realized?
What's that?
You're playing D&D?
I'm pretty sure this mimic ordeal started because I was mimicking the dude who owned the mimics.
That's a really interesting theory.
Inception.
I will never answer that question truthfully.
Canon. I don't care what you
I wouldn't
say.
expect you to, but I realized this, and I'm like, well, I was mimicking him.
Yeah.
And then we got chased by mimics.
Oh, right.
He also didn't want to give me 3,000 gold. So.
That's true. So I sent a message to Bevington, and he said he was on it.
Right.
Oh, and we got a journal.
Right.
In a different language.
That only Arthur can read?
Yep.
Right. That did happen. You have a slightly damaged ancient doll as well. That seems to mean a lot.
That I can do mending on. I do mending on it right now.
Okay, that works.
We're not even there yet, but
oh, you're all currently yeah, okay. So you're all currently camped around your little
that's right. We
camp
actually
area
did make
inside.
camp after, didn't we?
You did.
Yeah,
so
we
everyone
did.
I thought we ran back into that fucking that one place.
Yeah, that's where we made camp.
We made
the
camp
cave
afterwards.
Yeah.
So we could do a long rest.
Yeah, so I'll consider you guys have you had a long rest, and I mean you're all leveled up anyways now. We're all level 4, and you had some wonderful fortified scorpion wine, and yeah, I would say
evil elf guy was like, "Let me hit up Mason, because you guys be bitches."
Yeah, basically what happened there was you pissed him off by making him think his doll was destroyed. You now have the doll again, and he got extremely pissed off, especially at Tim, and dropped down the well, and the mimics are still kind of wandering outside as far as you remember. And yeah, it was about a 200-yard deep well. And
Bjorn was going to do it anyway.
Bjorn was going to hop down there. And then this guy, as he was going down, said, "Mason, is it?" And then he was gone. So I think that should be maybe a little bit concerning to you guys. However,
I've got bigger concerns.
You know, next time I see him, he's pooping his pants. So.
Yep. You
Never
do now
forget,
have
everyone. You can always refer the poop management spells in your adventure guide. So make sure you buy one. They're on sale. I don't know.
Yeah, they are
Wizards
actually.
of the Coast, give me money.
Insert plug here.
Our
Yeah.
sponsor. No, I'm just playing.
Our
Visit our
dream
website
sponsor.
at.
Yeah. But
If
yeah,
you click
actually.
these hyperlinks, a little bit of the money comes back to us. Anyway.
Yeah. If you guys are
Smaller
actually
stuff.
interested in playing D&D 5th edition, you don't have any of the resources yet, there is actually a huge sale going on right now, so it's even more accessible to everybody right now, which is great. And this isn't a plug. We don't get paid for this. It's just we like people to play D&D. So
Not yet,
Play
anyway.
D&D with us.
come play
Hi.
D&D. Don't be lame.
Come on.
Don't
I
go
got
to
a
your
bag of cheesies.
don't go to your sports ball game.
I got Hot Pockets.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you do.
we have dilly bars from DQ. So.
Okay. I know. Molly was
What is
supposed to give me
Dilly
one.
Bars?
Yeah, they're like the parfait
Rude.
buster bars that you can get from.
Look, it's just ice
do you not
cream
have
with
Dairy
dipped
Queen down there?
chocolate.
I do have Dairy Queen, but I've never heard of a Dilly
Yeah,
Bar.
they're wonderful. Anyways,
I've only heard of blizzards and how they don't fall out of the
They got to do the upside down test.
and
Yeah.
if they don't, I
You know-
scream
One
at
time it
them.
actually fell out in
You know
front of
what?
the person's face. It was
If,
awesome.
If,
Oh
you,
my
if
God.
they don't do that, your food, your blizzard's free, huh?
And if you call them on it, yeah. But who would ever do that?
I would.
He would.
All right,
I'm pretty sure
Apparently-
it's like
we are
second
going
nature
off
to them
on the
right now,
longest
so they're
fucking
like-
tangent here. Let's play some Dungeons and
Yeah,
Dragons,
yeah.
you guys.
We should probably
Um,
do stuff.
Yes, Tarbok has some previous engagements that he needs to get to, so it might be a bit of a shorter one tonight. I kind of planned for this arc to be a little bit longer. There's a lot of stuff to cover in it, so that's okay. We'll get to a certain point and we'll be able to call it quits. We leave off with the crew camped out in that pyramid that they had found that strange half-orc and his pet panther in. They had put up some illusion spells to make sure that the mimics didn't try coming in there. Throughout the night, it's been quite successful, actually. And yeah, you guys basically had a strange, restful night, sharing some stories back and forth. I don't know how much your guys' characters shared with each other, but just general jokes and stories to try and keep your spirits up. Did anybody do anything else interesting throughout the night?
Can't say I did.
I'm pretty sure Arthur would have been reading that book.
I
Absolutely.
mean, other than Bajoran
Hint, hint.
obsessively like looking in the like wooden ball, did he send anything? No. Did he send it? No. So other than that, oh, and then meditating in front of the door.
I just knew I needed to rest because it's going to be a long day.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, Bjorn, you've been checking the ball all night, and at one point in the middle of the night, you did receive a written note in very, very nice, almost calligraphic green ink from Bevington. The same kind of writing that you saw in the previous message of "We're on it," and the message simply says, "Still working on ideas. Anything new?" This was roughly in the middle of the night.
Okay, I'll say something along the lines of, met this elf man. Tim made him very upset. We got a book from him. We don't know what it says. Well, Arthur knows, but I don't know.
Okay.
This is all rambling.
You're just like continuously writing your train of thought.
Yeah. But other than that, nothing. Work faster. This is very important. Thank you. Have a
Okay.
good day. You're doing a good job.
All right. The next time you check the ball, there is another message in the same handwriting, and it says, "I hate having to do this, but take this." And inside is what you guys all recognize as another one of
I was going to use the coin if he didn't.
another one of Alistair's coins that Bevington clearly did not want to provide to you.
What? We have 2 coins.
Actually, technically, you all have one and
One
then
each.
one extra now. So, yeah.
Oh my god.
Alistair gave you each a coin then. While we're at it, Big Z Gamer 25, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the Ret-Con-Artists channel. And I hope you
Hi.
enjoy everything.
Welcome.
Thank you for the follow.
I'm just going to do a quick reconnect here as well. There we go. We lost our resident.
I don't
Gentlemen.
have Josh.
No,
I don't
neither
have
do
Josh
I.
or Max.
You still there, Josh?
Yes.
We don't
Oh,
see it, buddy.
you.
What?
You would have gone.
Uh-oh. Technical difficulties.
I'm glad it's not me for once.
No, I don't see you either, actually.
Oh, bump. All right, hold on.
Yeah, my is
You
wrong.
should refresh everyone's.
I am. Continuously.
Sandy's page is unresponsive, actually.
Oh
Uh-oh.
yeah, just exit out of it and then come back in.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
Sorry, guys.
Technical difficulty.
Look,
Less than 20
man.
minutes in and we're getting the technical difficulties.
We just gotta get them out of the way.
That's true. Here we go.
I'm
Here we
back.
go. Ah, I got our
I
Josh
see
back. We're
Josh.
just waiting on Paul to rejoin now.
I don't see Alex. Oh no.
I see
Back.
everyone. Except Max. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Everybody. What do I do?
There
Do
we
I
go.
kick my computer? Max, you hit refresh for me there, buddy?
I already did.
Uh-oh.
Might take a second.
Yeah. I'm just continuously refreshing.
I think I'm gonna see Max.
Whoa, what is going on, internet? Am I robot-y?
No?
No, you're fine.
Nope.
Weird.
Whoa, everything's unresponsive.
Yeah, I keep losing, like...
Oh yeah, if it makes it unresponsive, just get out of the window and come back in. That usually fixes the problem.
Fix it for me. I think it got quiet.
How many refreshes?
Right? Are we retcon artists or refresh artists?
Ah.
Terrible. Alright. So I don't have Ruthie right now, but hit
Sorry,
refresh if you don't
my,
mind.
my thing actually crashed. So.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
Alright.
See Ruthie.
I see everyone except Ken.
There, I got everybody.
I see
Oh my god, it's a success.
everyone.
Alright.
Nobody touch anything.
We
Don't
did
touch
Nobody
it.
fucking
That
breathe.
includes everybody
my
in
goodness.
chat. Don't
All
you
right.
dare fucking move. Okay.
Hey, she's the friendliest of us all.
Yeah.
I wasn't moving. Alright, so you guys you receive another message from Bevington saying, I regretfully, basically he's just saying, I didn't want to have to do this. And he sends you one of Alistair's coins that clearly he didn't realize you guys had the ones already. So you have a fifth one now. And as soon as you open it up and you take out the note from Bevington and the coin, you all start to feel your coins almost hum, like a very low vibration.
I'm going to click the eyeball.
All right. You all touch down
Coin
on
phones.
the glass eye in the center of the coin, and all of a sudden you start to hear Alistair's voice come through it.
Sorry.
Oh my.
I fucking cracked myself up.
Sorry.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Majorn's going to absolutely be shouting at this coin because no one told him he could be a normal talking. Alistair!
Yes.
We need a locator thing!
A locator?
Thing!
For for what? Who? A person?
Yes! Mason!
Yes. Give me a moment. Do I have one of those?
Read what I sent you there.
Oh.
Do you think he heard me?
Sure.
He might have heard you.
Oh.
Okay.
Sorry, I was not sure what I was supposed to do for a second. Yeah, yes, where are you exactly?
Arthur, where are we?
Arthur,
In the desert.
he He's been trying to figure that out the whole time we're here. So like he's like reading this book and like listening to the coin at the same time. He kind of looks up and he just kind of like looks around and he just goes, "To be honest, I don't actually know."
We don't know.
And he kind of just looks back down.
Well,
It's Sandy. There was an elf man. I think it was the market of mimics.
Okay.
Azazi?
Is there anything magical of worth around you? I mean, mimics is good. Usually they hide things.
There's a door that we can't open that seems to be quite magical.
Oh, that sounds pleasant. Let me hang on one moment.
Secretly sending skeletons.
You hear like rustling metals and things. Okay. I have something that might help you. I will try to send it as quickly as possible. You still have the orb with you?
Yes.
Yes. Let me go and find Bevington, and I will. I'll be. It will be right there. It might take some time.
Okay. How do
Not
I
going
turn this
anywhere.
off?
Oh, for fuck's sake. It's a coin that has an eye on it and we're using it like a phone.
iPhone.
iPhones. No, you're not fooling anyone. Get out of here. Take your head and shrink it. Alright.
Is this a late April Fool's joke? Ken.
You're muted.
Ken.
Am I muted?
GM.
I'm sorry, guys. Thank you. I'm laughing because I was typing, and anyways, I'm back. Anyways,
Clackety clack.
I didn't even think of that as an iPhone thing. Okay. My bad. So you guys noticed that the coin stopped humming in his hand, and yeah, you don't hear from Alistair anymore. And you know that he said that he was going to go and find something for you and figure something out, and that's the last of it. So what do you guys want to do now at this point?
I got anything out of the book?
Door.
Have you gotten anything out of the book? I would say that
Like where the key is?
you haven't read anything too much about keys. You have read about various chambers, various floors. You've heard about plans for experiments, plans for improved security. But again, it's all very vague ramblings. It seems like it's kind of his train of thought. And you're just getting the particulars out of it with your spell of comprehend language.
I'm able to figure out like where he goes when he's not trying to kill people in the desert with mimics.
Yeah, you
Like,
kind
am I
of
getting any like locations or you know like
you
yeah.
do. You get a few little phrases talking about being buried and talking about refreshing water and
An oasis.
almost an oasis of sorts. And you know that there's a lot of talk of hidden chambers and I guess seclusion from the above.
All right. So I kind of like would share that information. Arthur kind of looks up from the book and he's like, "Oh my, this guy, he likes to be buried." And he kind of like shows the book to whoever might be near him, like kind of pointing to where it like talks about like that aspect of things. And he just kind of goes back to reading it again. And he kind of
Okay.
shares that other information too.
Cool.
So we need to dig.
Or, we just keep trying to get underground. That door that's locked, probably something right fancy behind there.
Hmm.
I don't know where to dig yet, though. I'll figure it out. And he keeps
I will
turning the
start
pages and.
Digging.
What are you gonna dig in the
Bjorn,
concrete
no.
box?
No, that's enough. No,
No,
digging
just
here.
let him tire himself out. He's a big lad with a big heart, but not.
But we're
Not
gonna
much else.
need
Just
him.
Let him dig. It's fine.
Well, something else I'll have to get used to, I suppose. And he goes back to reading his book.
Just gonna start hitting the walls around the door. This is my digging.
Didn't you
With
try
my
that
hammer.
already last time?
No, I hit the door several times
Oh, okay.
because it made a noise.
Okay.
Now I'm just gonna start hitting the walls.
Sure, go ahead. Roll me a strength check.
Where? Oh, it's right here in front of my face. Cool.
Can I inspire him?
19.
Never mind.
Yeah, okay.
I'll take that bardic inspiration.
You have it then.
I'm not gonna use it yet, but I will take
You
it
are
because I'll
inspired.
use it later.
You hit the wall next to the door. Doesn't matter what side, I suppose. And your hammer, it makes a small crack with that 19, but other than that, it still seems like it's rock solid.
Okay, everyone else can go, and then I'm gonna hit it again. I'm gonna keep hitting it till someone tells me not to.
Okay, anyone else?
I'm going to, since it's early in the morning, or what we perceive to be morning, I'm going to sit down with my ration and just watch.
Just for shiggles, Tim's gonna cast Enlarge on Bjorn.
Oh my god.
Yes! Yes! I'm gonna hit the wall!
He is big enough already, but sure. What is the parameters for enlarge, please?
You can cause creature or an object you can see within range to grow larger or smaller for the duration. Enlarge. The target's size doubles in all dimensions, and its weight is multiplied by 8.
Oh my god.
Thick
So does
boy.
this increase my strength? Because
would
I
assume
think
so.
it
I'm not
should.
done reading.
He's not done reading.
This growth increases its size by 1 category from medium to large. For example, if there isn't enough room for the target to double its size, the creature or object attains maximum possible size in the space available. Until the spell ends, the target also has advantage on strength checks and strength saving throws. The target's weapon also grows to match its new size. While these weapons are enlarged, the target's attack with the item deal 1d4 extra damage.
Did you just get that spell?
Might have.
That's impressive. All right.
Oh, I'm so excited.
How long does it
Enlarge me
last?
Before every battle. Just run in the battlefield.
I think the person who would need enlargement is probably Tarvok.
He becomes an average sized dude.
Bolus archery.
I can reach the cookies on the top shelf. No one
You can't tell me not to get that soda, mum.
Terrible. Okay.
Time frame.
Am I doing this for an hour?
I don't see a time frame.
Okay, hold on.
I am forever double my size.
Transmutation up to 1 minute.
Aw,
Yeah,
just
I mean,
all right, this is good though.
a
This
minute's
is
enough
amazing.
times to hit that door a lot.
That's
Oh
true.
yeah.
All right.
Thank you, Tim.
All right. So you cast enlarge, and Bjorn,
Don't have
you
big
you
fella.
just you just like feel it's very strange. It's almost like when you get a really good pump at the gym, and you're like, "Oh, my skin is tight," and you're just like swelling in size.
Games.
I would like to
Pure
rename
gains.
this spell to steroids.
HGH.
Gains.
Yeah, gains with a Z. Is that the word that you say when you cast it? Gains.
Gains.
or with the reduced diet. Okay.
Doesn't
Keto
matter. Whenever he casts it, he's gonna flex.
Yeah.
Great.
Perfect. All right. So Bjorn, you grow, and your head is like, if you were to walk towards the front of this pyramid where the angled wall is, the top of the
I'm
door
like
would be at
12
like
feet
your
tall
waist.
now.
You're like,
Because
yeah,
I was 6'6".
you're like 13 feet tall now. Yeah.
I'm like 13 feet tall.
No
Tarbok,
biggie.
you're so small.
You're about as big as Grevia was.
I should be able to smash this wall so hard.
You would be able to smash Grevia, actually.
Oh, jeez.
Terrible. Anyways, all right. So you guys,
Poor Cinderella.
I'm gonna give you.
It also doubles the size of the pole.
Next time on Ret-Con-Artists.
Ultra Instinct Bjorn.
We're the best.
Quality entertainment, people. Absolute quality entertainment.
Oh my gosh.
Goodness gracious.
I'm
I'm playing D&D with a bunch of children this week. No. I kid.
Play
I love
D&D
it.
with a bunch
I
of
love it.
children every week.
It's true. We are all children. I love it.
Vlad's
So-
right though. You should clip this entire segment.
You guys feel
Yeah,
free.
is the rug my sentient rug? Is
Your
he
rug
also
is also
double the
large.
size?
Everything that you've been wearing is
Oh, big buddy.
yeah. So all right, so here's what I'm gonna do for hitting this wall, because I'm not gonna have you guys in this montage of you just cracking away at this wall for however long, but
I was about to
I'll
be
give you
like, I
I'll give
will
you 3
roll.
rolls.
Let me
If-
find a
Okay.
montage song.
If you hit a certain
Do I get
number,
advantage on all of them? Because it says I get advantage on strengths.
yeah, you know what? I'll give you advantage on all of them. But you have to do like a near perfect score in order to do anything here, and even then, I'm not sure what it'll do.
18 plus 4.
Okay.
That's my first one.
Yeah.
Haha, 17 plus.
Okay.
So the first
So
one.
the first
an
one is
8.
18 plus 4. Now you're on your second swing.
And a 19 plus 4.
Cool.
Okay.
I fucking love these advantage rolls. I can add inspiration to one of them if they don't work.
Well, you're on your first roll of your second swing. So you
Yeah,
had
have to roll
advantage
6
on the
times,
first one.
Ruthie.
Yeah, you
I
gotta
already did
six
roll
times.
6 times.
Oh, there we go. Never mind.
All
Oh,
of those
okay,
numbers
so-
I told you.
Okay, so it was
18,
22,
17, and 19.
21, 23.
All plus
Okay.
4.
All plus 4 because
Yeah.
I get plus 4 or something.
Right.
Or whatever.
Well, no, that's is that your strength?
That's it to the damage part though.
You're right.
I have to
Okay.
roll damage.
Mm,
Also, I get a
I'm wondering
plus
how
5
to
to
do
hit.
this.
Does that
This
count
is
too?
interesting. Yeah, you know what?
I was just
Roll me damage on those 3 rolls then, please,
Oh.
because all
What
3
did
of them
I
hit.
even roll?
Just for clarification, for Vlad's sake,
Mm-hmm.
we when it comes to bardic inspiration, you can use it after you know the value of a roll. It's absolutely fine. We had to double check the last time we played, but it's fine.
Okay,
And this one gets 4 added to it, right?
that's for the damage.
Tim?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
Plus your
7
strength.
plus 4 plus 4.
Okay.
18.
50.
No. Okay. Look,
15.
I can't math. You guys do it for me.
Okay, next one.
Okay. 3 plus 4 plus 4. It's 11.
Okay, next.
7 plus 8 plus 4.
7 plus 8 plus 4.
7 plus 4. Sorry, 7 plus 4
So
plus
another
4.
15.
Yeah.
All right, so
I don't know
total
why I said
41 damage.
I mean, this is a good way to test what you can do to a creature, just saying.
Yeah, you're not wrong. All right, so you
I'm collecting numbers.
you take a swing at the I would say, because you're so tall, it would be the top right of the door, of the big I guess blocks around the door. and you do end up shattering a big chunk of it off. On the third swing, it just crumbles away the right side of the door. And yeah.
Please tell me I can see inside the room at least a little bit.
You look into the cracked area behind this door, and the door appears to be probably about 1.5 foot thick of some sort of magical brass. And it is dark. All you see is darkness leading down a staircase that goes down another, I would say, 10, 15 feet. And then at the very end, yeah, you let your helmet up. At the very end, you can see that there's a hallway that it kind of meets up with that kind of goes to either side.
So it's just a crack.
It's probably about 1 foot in diameter, I would say.
Tarbok, how tall are you?
Can we squeeze Tarbok into it?
If we can't, I can make him smaller.
How many spell slots do you have for that one?
I'm like
I think I've got
feet tall.
3 second-level spell slots.
Okay.
Yes.
You're 4'6", Tarbok, as far as I remember.
Yeah. 4'8".
So,
4'8".
So I
4'8",
wanted to hit
sorry.
the wall. No, Tarbok wouldn't be trapped forever. Because if he can't open from the inside, I'll just hit the wall until I can open the whole wall.
Did you?
Just to see if we can cheat.
Yeah,
Tarbok will just be the first one in.
This is how they decide to write me out of the campaign.
You were large for a minute because of the spell, and out of 3 swings while being enlarged for a minute, that is the size of the hole that you were able to make. So do with that information what you will, and I'll let you decide.
Enlarge me again.
I can only do this a couple more times.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm just saying, as from my point of view, it might not be worth expending his spell slots on that. However, you guys do whatever you feel.
Well, we don't have options. We're waiting for Alistair to give us stuff.
I'm pretty sure
wanna
you
call
have
Alistair.
options.
I'm gonna ring-a-ding Alistair.
Sure.
All right,
Phone
I'm
with your
pushing that
iPhone.
eyeball until he answers.
All right.
Alistair, I need D&D. I need TNT. I need explosives. Do you have explosives?
All right.
C4.
So you push on the eyeball, and Alistair kind of, I guess, looks up, or doesn't. You don't see him, but he kind of like he seems to be in the middle of something very important when he answers, and he says,
Yes. Hello.
Do you have any explosives?
Like a fireball?
No, I've got that covered.
No.
Something
larger.
to blow up a wall.
Oh, are you talking about the large door? The magical door?
Yes, so I broke the wall on the side. And I need TNT to make it bigger so we can go through the wall.
I don't have any of that, but I am sending you someone to help. She should be able to use what I've given her to help you get in the door, or at least figure out what it is. She's a researcher, my assistant that you didn't meet earlier. She's also concerned because her pet slime is gone.
Thank you. I'm gonna throw the coin. Arthur.
Throw the coin.
"Where did you throw it to?"
Arthur looks up from his book. He's just, yes.
Can you have your slime eat the wall?
Arthur takes a deep breath in, and he kind of shuts the book. He pulls out this jar that has this red slime in it, and he's like, "Well, I suppose it's worth a try." And he walks over to the wall, and he just kind of
Splorp.
All right, little buddy, eat the wall.
Just kind of like drops it out of the crack. Just like sees what happens.
Slime goes into the crack and leaves us.
Yeah, so this little slime...
I don't know why we didn't use the chicken in the hole.
Just boop.
I can put my helmet on him so we can see, because it's dark.
How's the chicken gonna see then?
The chicken.
No, because there's a light on it.
I could just cast light on the chicken.
You
Oh.
Oh yeah, you
All
throw
right,
the chicken
so-
in there, then we can see what's down there.
Well,
So you
I didn't
put
think
the-
of that yet.
You
We
put the
have a lot of
slime...
good ideas when we're not really paying attention.
You kind of dump the little red slime out onto the hole in the wall that you guys have been working at, and it kind of like shuffles around a little bit and looks around in there, and it, for what you can see, for features of this slime, it's like you can't even really see its face or anything, but for some reason you can tell that it's like looking back at you quizzically. And it goes over and it kind of grabs a little piece of the rock and the hard stone that this building was made out of, the marble or whatever it was, and it just kind of like slops its face down on this little stone, picks it up, and you see it like trying to basically digest it inside, and you just hear, and then it just goes, and it spits out the rock almost like in repulsion. And does this little shutter thing and then hops back into the jar that you're holding in your hand.
Yeah, before
that's
it
what a
hops back in
vegan
the jar
slime.
though, Arthur just takes a piece of the scorpion that he made. He kind of drops it in the jar and then like holds it up so the slime can jump in and eat something real.
Okay.
And then he puts the jar back in. He turns around and he just goes, "No, it cannot."
Thank you
He
for
kind of
trying.
like looks around, and just pulls the book back out and sits down, starts reading again.
All right, perfect. So
Next,
as you guys
turn
are
the chicken on light. Light the chicken.
sure,
Light the chicken.
Tim.
Let there be light.
Okay, so you cast light on the chicken with what was your spell word?
Let there be light.
Welcome to the Ret-Con-Artists, where we use every cliche imaginable. Pop culture? Never heard of it. All right. So this chicken, it just basically
It's better
starts
than
to
yelling
glow.
Gucci Gang and touching a chicken.
True.
Or is it?
I don't know.
And so what were the keywords again? Sorry. I think it was "tell me what you see, little buddy" or something like
No,
that.
it's who's a good boy.
What do you see, girl?
Oh, what do you see,
shoot.
girl?
What is it, girl? Yeah, there we go.
What is
Oh.
it, girl? Okay.
I will whisper ever so gently. What is it, girl?
Bjorn then embodies the chicken.
And
One with the chicken. Cluck,
this
cluck.
chicken, this wooden chicken, just all of a sudden pops into life, and it's just a very nice, healthy looking brown chicken with its little red flopper thing or whatever you want to call it. I don't know what that thing's called. And it kind of turns towards you, and it's like completely glowing, and its eyes are almost like shooting light out of it. And it looks at you, and it just goes, and it hops into the hole, and you all of a sudden, as soon as it hops into the hole, Bjorn, your vision is completely like washed over with this strange, almost contorted, like almost colorblind looking view of the chicken. And it hops down from the hole in the wall, and you find yourself as a chicken. You can't control what it's doing, but it scoots ahead up until it gets to the bottom of the stairs, and you look left and you look right, and the chicken kind of decides which way to go. It hangs a right and goes around the corner of the hallway. It's just a stone hallway plane, and as it reaches the end, about 15 feet out, it starts to see a glow of torches, and it goes around the corner again to the right, basically back towards the direction you guys are at. And what happens is it opens up into a very beautifully adorned living quarters and like a bed chamber. There is a huge McChicken vision. Oh my God, Paul.
That's good.
McChicken
That's the
vision.
name of
That's
that's the
good.
name of the chicken vision.
And this chicken, it makes its way into this bedchamber, and it sees a very large writing desk off to the right, and along the shelves on the walls are various random chunks of furniture and body parts and just strange tools that you can see. And it's all very distorted, of course, and as the chicken walks in and it's kind of like scratching at the floor a little bit, the chicken turns to the far corner of the room, and it sees behind the desk, kind of thumbing through some pages, Mr. Darius himself, Darius Peru.
I have found the elven man!
And he looks up from his book, and he looks at the chicken, and he laughs a little bit, and then he looks straight up at the ceiling and looks back down at the chicken, and the last thing you see is his hand shoot out, and there's nothing left of your vision anymore, and you suddenly snap back to your own vision.
He hit my chicken!
And
I'm gonna start hitting the wall.
you start hitting the wall, and without the strength earlier, like, you're not even making a dent at this point. You're kind of taking a few rocks here and there.
That doesn't matter. We're waiting until Lady shows up.
Everyone, roll me a perception check, please.
How does he not hear us literally knocking at the fucking door?
I got
I'm
20.
assuming he does. Okay.
I heard it despite my rage.
12.
Or maybe
There's
my
20
rage
remaining.
is what helped me hear everything.
12. Okay.
3. I'm too busy eating.
Yeah. Tim Taru.
Yeah. Oh, 8.
8. Okay. All right. Tim and Tarvok, you guys are just kind of sitting there. Tim, you've been just casually casting spells on Bjorn this whole time, and chickens. And
It looks like you pooped your pants, Bjorn.
and
That's
Bjorn,
what I was fearing when she was enlarged. She'd make her poop her pants.
just kill everyone in the room, basically.
We'd never need to worry about fertilizing our fields again.
So you. All right, so McChicken vision is over, but Bjorn is smashing at this wall, and Arthur, I would imagine that you're just kind of standing there with Bjorn, just kind of encouraging him along, and all of a sudden the two of you, for some reason the other guys that are still sitting at camp and just hanging out being idiots, don't hear the strange swooshing sound coming from behind you guys, but you two turn, and you notice at the entrance of the pyramid, you see some purple mist start to gather and swirl in a circle, and from out of it emerges a female figure.
It's me, I'm a female.
Surprise!
Is that what she says?
Yeah, sure.
It's
me, I'm a female.
female Alistair with a dress on.
Oh,
Oh,
shit.
my
God.
And Alistair's drag name is Alistair.
Oh my goodness.
Alistair.
No, we already went through an instance of Darius. We don't
Yeah.
need this again.
No. So you see a short woman, like 5'2". She's got long, like bluish gray hair, a dark purple cloak, and sort of the same like weird ratty leather scrappy stuff that Alistair was wearing, but fit for her, and also in her hand she's just holding like a tinier slime. This one's blue, and she just kind of like, oh yeah, hello.
Can
This
you
is
put away
Doubtfire.
the door?
I'm not going to like you.
Sorry, I think I'm in the right place. Are you? What are your names?
Bjorn.
Oh yes, Bjorn. Okay.
They all don't have names. I'm the only one with a name.
I'm not even going to bother.
I'm just tired.
Good. I'm glad I'm in the right place.
Who are you?
I'm Alistair's assistant. My name is Vera. Pleased to meet you.
What race is this woman? That's my question.
Oh yeah, sorry. She's like an elf.
Okay.
A very short elf.
She is a very short elf.
Happens after years of inbreeding.
Don't look at me.
Is this the door?
Yes.
Well, it's down a bit. I mean, you're just kind of standing in the entrance. If you come in.
So
and
in other words, yes, that is a door.
If you look down the
It's actually an
stairwell,
archway.
if you look down this here stairwell, you see, you'll find Bjorn and you'll find Arthur, and they're just having fun hitting a wall.
Arthur's sitting on like a large stone block that's down there, cross-legged with a book on his hand, and every so often he looks up at Bjorn and he just goes, "One more whack should do it." And then like he hits it again. He looks back down on the book and then he looks up. He just keeps doing this over and over again. And when the lady appears, he's just kind of like looking up at her like, "Yeah, it's a door." You know, like, what do you gonna help us? Kind of like waiting.
Sorry. Okay. So well, here we go. She like goes over to the door and she kind of like smushes the slime into the door a little bit, and you see the slime glow like a little bit, and I'm gonna cast detect magic on the door.
Okay.
As Vera.
All right.
She just sits there for a minute.
I think someone
Oh, she
tried
doesn't
detect
mind me
magic.
banging away at the wall.
Oh, did someone try to detect?
Did
magic?
someone try
I'm
that
sorry.
in one of the sessions? Was that
I
you?
did
Arthur?
detect magic at the well. I didn't do it on the door.
Oh, I thought it was on the door.
I thought someone did on the door, and you said it was
No,
all
Arthur-
sorts of magics.
Yeah, I thought that's what it was.
I
Oh
recall
no,
this.
I did it on. Oh, maybe I did. No, I didn't do it on the door. I did it on the well. And then it was
Yeah.
like, there's all sorts of schools of magic. Arthur did a history check and was like, it's a freaking lock from this area that's unhackable.
Oh yes. Okay. All right. So Vera, you stick your slime in the door lock. Nobody,
Is
please,
that what they're calling it?
nobody, please take that and spin that. And
Too
your
late.
little, you
Much
said
like
it was a
the
little blue slime, or?
Yeah, little
Okay.
blue slime.
And this little one, it's about half the size of the red one, I would say, right? And it kind of pops out and like with a little, like a tiny little squeak. It hops over onto your shoulder and kind of whispers in your ear. And what it whispers to you
Sensually.
is very similar to
It
what
was-
it's very similar to what these guys found out earlier. Is that there is a very specific key that needs to open this door, and there's really no other way that it'll open. So
Okay. Yeah. So unfortunately, there's I don't have high enough of a circle of magic just to open the door. It needs a key of some sort. Where? I guess where might we find a key? Is the question then? If we really need to get in the store.
Well, I mean, the chicken's down there. Like, yeah, no, your boss gave us a chicken. We'd probably like to
Oh, yes, the chicken, the sight chicken.
we call it the chicken vision.
Strange.
McDonald's, if you're watching, we're open to sponsorships.
Yeah.
Because don't you know, McDonald's, we're loving it.
And break time.
We are getting close to a break time.
Yeah. So you
Well,
We know all of this.
Yeah,
Can you
I-
blow up the wall?
Did we see any other pots sitting around here? Were there more pots, or did we already sift through all of the pots?
There
Oh,
wasn't a
sure, a
whole
couple
lot of
pots.
stuff. Yeah.
So there
Yeah, we
was an
already linked
elven
it.
warrior in legend, and he would go around and he would pick up pots and go, yeah, and throw them at the ground, and things would come out of them. If we
Thank
do
you.
this repeatedly with our elven friends, maybe they can find something for us.
Maybe we need to leave the area,
Yes, I
let
distinctly
it all
recall this
respawn,
warrior
and
was
then
an
come
elven
back.
soul.
Maybe.
Are there other pyramids around?
I could cut some grass. Oh, we're in the desert. There is no grass.
Classic.
There were no other pyramids around from what you guys gathered in your perception checks both times. Basically, all there was the closer set of mountainous hoodoos looking things, the further set of them, like miles and miles away, and the market that appeared when there was some shadow over the hill. At this point, it is very early in the morning.
There isn't much that we can do. We probably should go outside, try and catch our bearings. Vera, are you going to be sticking around with us so you can go home?
I'll stick around. Yeah. I can help in a few ways. I
Very
suppose.
nice. Do you know who really likes company? Tim.
Please no.
Tim loves strangers' companies.
Hello, Tim.
Oh God.
Hello.
See what I did you there, buddy? I did you a favor. Could you slide me 500 gold?
I can make you tiny, little man.
I don't think it's really going to work. I'm already pretty tiny. You know what? I'm not going to piss you off anymore. I'm going to go.
What if this is completely just not gonna work? But I'm just wondering if like we make Tarbok small, and then Tim does enlarge. It makes him big. In the hole, would it break the hole?
No.
It would break Tarbok.
I think the laws of smushy Tarvok versus not so smushy Marble would probably injure him quite extensively.
Oh my, this gives me a wonderful idea.
Oh no.
How about this? And Arthur closes the book and he kind of sets it down on his lap. One of us are rather sneaky. Maybe we shrink down small. One of us goes and steals the key from inside.
Oh, is the key inside? Yeah. I mean,
Well,
The right
considering
direction
the-
is the bad way to go, by the way. The chicken died in that direction.
Well, that means that the man is in there, so he must have the key.
Ken.
Maybe the
You-
one that can go invisible. Where's
Or maybe the lady who was sent to help us has some special way of making this happen.
I don't like where this is going.
Is the is Eco out in the open?
Sorry.
Like
Who's
who-
that, the red
Nice.
slime?
Yeah, the red slime.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah, actually, Arthur, I don't recall you saying that you put him away. You're still kind of holding him,
No.
aren't you?
he was in the
no,
jar and he
he's-
put him back in his pocket.
Oh yeah, I put him back in
Oh,
the
did you?
bag.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
So no.
Well,
he's
in
not.
that, yeah. I would. So, Vera's like, well, it'd be easy if I could. I misplaced my other slime.
We can enlarge a rock.
I could use him
Plug the
to
hole.
go on the other side of the hole. He's quite small. However, I need him in order to use some of my magic. And I
Oh,
don't
that
have
is
him.
just a wonderful thing a horrible thing rather, to misplace. These slimes are quite fascinating. And he pulls out the jar of red slime and he just goes, how do you tell a him versus a her? You refer to them as a him.
Eco! I
They
think,
just got like, what?
I imagine that the slime would try to get out of the jar at this point.
Arthur
Because-
wouldn't stop it. He'd actually,
yeah.
if it does it, Arthur would kind of like almost like here, like if it,
Yeah.
like if it
Yeah,
goes.
yeah.
Or, yeah.
Okay, this little red acidic slime hops right for you.
Yeah, and I catch him and like squeeze him until he almost separates, and we just have like a weird moment.
Very slimy moment.
Yeah. Oh, I missed you so much. and then it kind of like goes and onto the other shoulder, and then the blue slime and Eco kind of like also squish together, and they get a little purple, and then pop back, and they're just kind of sitting there.
That was-
Sorry?
I said that was weird.
Tell it like it is, Bjorn.
Bjorn, that's how baby slimes are made.
she's she's definitely beaming now that Eco is back, and I can get I can use Eco as a sort of a hand to extend my own. If there's maybe a switch on the other side or something of that nature, I could find it.
Okay.
It's
Sure.
worth a try, I guess.
Yeah, Vera, you probably are gonna need a boost to get up to that hole in the door, though.
Okay. Could I
You,
have a hand?
hello, I am 6'6". You can
Yes.
see.
I just, I didn't want to impose.
Don't be weird. Just gonna lift her up.
All right.
Yeah.
So you just grab
Um,
this small woman around the waist and lift her up, and she's able to reach her arm into the hole. And I'm imagining Eco just kind of like slimes on to your right hand.
It's basically just a form of mage hand.
Okay. But
So-
with its range limitations, of course, of like how
Right,
long
yeah.
Eco can reach down. All right.
Yeah.
So
So I'm just kind of reaching around,
do you
feeling...
feel what Eco feels?
No, but he can...
Knows
like,
what you're trying to do, kind of thing.
knows what I'm trying to do, sort of.
Okay. All right. So you stick your elongated red slimy arm into.
Bring back the pots.
That's the noise it makes when it
Fresh
slides
pots?
through the hole.
Yeah.
Ew. And you hear him just kind of like slap around against the wall below a little bit, and then he kind of like flops up and starts slapping in a full circle around the way. I'm imagining those little sticky hands that you get out of the vending
Yeah,
machines.
that's what I was imagining. Just...
Yeah, and then just like snaps back. You don't get really anything except a bunch of stone dust and rubble from the crack in the wall there, and you don't really feel anything on the other side of the door except from what Eco could tell, it was basically the exact same thing on the other side.
Okay.
So good attempt.
I don't think there's anything over there, though.
I'll
Sorry.
set her down very gently.
All right.
Thank you.
And at that point, we're at about a halfway mark right now, so we're going to take a less than 10-minute break. And I want to say 1 second here. Let me just switch over to this screen. I think we got... All right, thank you for the hosts from Big Z Gamer and Coddy and Johnny Song. Welcome to the crew. Welcome to the Ret-Con-Artists. Thanks for joining.
Hey, welcome.
And we will take a 10-minute break and go pee, get some water, maybe get some snacks if you want, and we will be right back. So we'll see you guys in a bit. Hey everyone, this isn't going to be a very long intermission as per usual, but I do want to remind you guys, if you want to reach out to us, we have a Discord and a Twitter that you can talk to us on, so please click those links in the description, come by, say hello, and learn how you can get involved with us. Otherwise, I'm going to just get right back into the episode. Enjoy. Let's
Here we go.
Here we go.
Trying to jump down a well. Here we go.
Wow.
Let's go.
Is that what you want to do? So you guys are standing in the middle of the pyramid, and I'm gonna say a few things here really quickly. First off, thank you guys for sticking around with us. We got a lot of fine people hanging out and chatting with us. I mean, a lot of the usuals, but a lot of new people. So thank you guys again for swinging by, giving us follows, and showing us some love. If you want, hop in the Discord, because we actually have people that like to post things in the live episode discussion when we are live. They like to post quotes and just stupid, silly things that happen and theories in there too. So feel free to go there. With that one there, you hit that link and it'll take you into the Discord, and you will.
Vlad is always on point.
Be a part of the shit show. Yeah. Yes, Vlad is always on point.
Mhm.
Needless to say, I think we need to do another Resident Evil stream soon.
Yes.
For those of you who missed out on that, it was a good time. I'm going to post it up on the YouTube here, probably at some point this week, in a new playlist where we can all post up maybe some of our playthroughs of things if we want. I think is a pretty fun idea.
I guess FYI, the Resident Evil playthrough has a lot of cursing,
Yeah.
a lot of
And
alcohol.
drinking.
Yeah, a lot of alcohol. So just a heads up.
It was a good time.
Vlad
So-
knows.
Yes, Vlad was there coaching us through the drinking and a little bit of the game. And yes, so we want to thank you guys again so much for being a part of this. It means a whole lot to us that even with our small group that we have here, that you guys love to hang out with us and listen to us ramble like I am now, and listen to us tell stories and play weird characters and put slimes
Listen.
in locks, and
Tarvok ain't weird.
you're pretty fucking
Sticking
weird.
slimes in the floor.
And I know that one thing that we've been discussing is doing a after hours podcast for you guys. It's something that we've been playing with, and we've tried to kind of get going in the past couple weeks as well, but things just haven't connected yet. I think we want to try and still do that for sure, so that we can at least just maybe talk about like a 30-minute session where we all kind of hang out, talk about the session that we just had, or maybe a story arc. You guys let us know how often you would like to hear us talk about the stuff that happens in game, and of course me try to not reveal shit that might be coming up and whatnot. Yeah, it's going to be tough for me to keep my trap shut, because it's already tough for me to do that now. Anyways, so if you guys want to see some after hour or listen to some after hours discussion about Ret-Con-Artists, and if you have questions for us that we can answer in the podcast, please feel free to dump them in the Discord or tweet us and tell us what you'd like to hear or what you'd like to see. We love suggestions. Other than that, a lot of us are either streaming or gearing up for streaming, so please feel free. We have in our Discord, in Laughter's Lobby, we have all of our stream links posted up, and we like to do our own thing when we're not doing Ret-Con-Artist stuff. So come by and say hi. I know a lot of you guys do, but if you haven't yet, come by and say hi on all of our individual channels when we're online, and we'll try and get a schedule up for you guys for when we're going to stream individually to the Ret-Con-Artist channel, because it's just a wonderful place to have us all do that. Yeah. Other than that, I don't think I've really missed anything for this intermission. We hope you guys are all watered and fed and caffeinated and maybe a little bit of beer, who knows. But we're going to hop back in.
Is that a cheese stick?
Yeah. What was that, Max?
Celery.
Ooh.
Oh.
Ooh.
It's just a massive cheese stick.
Yeah, I wasn't sure.
I
It
would-
just popped
I
up
got,
there for a
I got
second.
cheese.
I'd be flying to your place right away. All right, guys. So let's hop back into it. So you guys are all standing there. You felt around inside the door. You didn't find any hidden latches or anything like that. You know that this door is not budging. I don't. And full disclosure to the viewers here, I realized in the break that I want to give every opportunity to these guys. So I'm gonna just leave everything out on the floor for you guys. What do you want to do at this point? I know this door seems daunting.
Go
do what you
outside. Look at a well that everyone's gonna tell me not to jump down. So I'm just gonna pet my
they
rug.
said don't jump doesn't mean don't repel.
Don't fall.
Arthur shuts the book
Oh.
and he's like, "My, is it getting stuffy in here?" And he just gets up and he just kind of starts walking outside.
Sure.
I imagine
Like
it
the
being
mix.
getting all dusty and shit like that from Bjorn hitting the wall.
Yeah,
and everything.
it's like
So Arthur
a
stands
construction
up,
zone in
he
there.
shakes. Yeah, and like a bunch of dust falls off him. Like he cleans it off his like tiefling horns, and he's just like, and he just kind of like walks on out. He kind of like stands at the entrance and looks out over the vast emptiness of the desert.
All right. So you do look out the
Bjorn's
desert.
nickname is Jackhammer.
Bjorn the Jackhammer Saxon.
Makes
Awesome.
sense.
So Arthur, you go out and it is still a little bit dark out. It's very early in the morning. As you step outside, the illusions are no longer there. Your spells have worn down, and you look out towards where the market is, and you can see up the hill before the market is actually in view, and you see some strange humanoid figures laying in the middle of the sand.
Arthur's kind of like looking at him.
There's like 6 or 7 of them from what you can see.
He really can't see him that well, and he just goes, "Oh yeah," and he takes his sunglasses off.
And he rolls a perception check.
Yep, exactly. Ooh, 24.
Oh yeah, you nail it. So from what you can see, once you take those sunglasses off, everything starts to brighten up a little bit for you, even with your dark vision. And you notice that it's just a bunch of dead bodies laying in the sand. Some of them are missing limbs, and some of them seem to be almost like holding weapons or have like artificial legs or peg legs, if you will. And one of them is even missing his head. You can't quite tell the race from how far away you are, but they definitely look like humanoids.
Arthur looks back inside. He just goes, "Everybody, we have new friends. Come see." And he kind of just looks back over there.
Bjorn is going to the new friends.
And as Bjorn comes running up, Arthur like does like this like step because he's afraid he's gonna get ran over. And then like he has these steps, he kind of like points Bjorn in the right direction.
Okay.
I'm assuming I can't do
you-
spare
you-
the dying on any of these guys.
No, I don't think you can. I assume you guys are all going to kind of go up and investigate this at this point.
Of course.
All right. So
Yeah.
you all dip up towards the side of the hill that is facing the pyramid, and as you get closer, you start to realize these bodies they at first seemed very colorless because of the dark light that was around, but now as you get closer, you notice that they're very dark gray in color, almost like they've been rotting, or who knows, like it almost seems like necrotic flesh on them. And a lot of them are missing pieces, but where they are missing pieces, they've also gained pieces that are very strange. There's one laying there, he's got a leg missing, but it's actually a carved ornate table leg stuck into his hip socket. The other one has on his mouth, he has a very large ornate lock closing his mouth, like a golden ornate lock. There's another one who has his chest is just wood slats all the way down, and he's got like these metal straps holding them all together, but he's basically looks like he was made from a barrel or a chest of some sort. And all of these bodies, except for the couple of them that are missing their heads, have their eyes wide open, but there's no eyes there. It's nothing but just gray goop slowly seeping out. And as you guys walk up, all the buzzards that have been sitting there picking at them just scatter away, and some of this goop just kind of gets spilled around them a bit.
This wouldn't happen to be where we last saw mimics, would it?
It's on the side of the hill that you guys raced away from.
Huh.
I'm gonna shoot an arrow into one of the bodies.
Sure.
Bjorn's gonna like walk up to do actual medical inspections, and then
Okay.
Yeah, Arthur like jumps back, like he hears
Sinks an
the
arrow
bow,
into it. What?
the bow twang, and Arthur's just like, "What the?"
Yeah, so
jumps out.
you guys are all like walking forward to inspect and maybe help these poor creatures on the ground, and you just hear, bowed archery.
Standard
you
archery.
just hear the twang
Yeah.
of a bow as Tarvok decides to test out on which one are you testing? Do you think out of the ones I
We're
described?
gonna go with the one with made from a barrel is who we're targeting for, since
All
he's
right.
got those broad chest on him.
Yeah.
You can take it.
All right. So you fire it right into his chest, and your arrow buries itself into the wood of his chest, and you just hear a brrr. And when that happens, it kind of
Well, the armor works. Roll for initiative.
the body that's laying there kind of like gurgles a little bit and makes the most disgusting noise that seems somewhat familiar to Bjorn.
Sweet, Bjorn's gonna medically inspect him because he's a doctor, technically.
Sure. You do notice that this creature is
But like all of them.
yeah, they're all
But probably the one that got shot
you know
first.
what? You know what? Roll me an insight check.
Say, hold on.
That one's Cinderella.
You see a bruise in the back of his throat.
Okay. Does it a nat 20 help?
Yes,
Anyone?
that will work.
Yay.
Alright. So you go to inspect this body that the arrow just made this thing gurgle, and as you're inspecting it, it makes another of the gurgling sounds, and it reminds you of one that you've heard just the other night, and
In a vision
of sorts. And it strikes you that this was a human at one point, but because
Well, I
of
sure hope so.
But because of your cleric background, you realize that there are some serious undead qualities to this person. They have been long since dead, and they seem to be just animated by some sort of strange innate magic. And as you continue to inspect, it sort of gurgles a bit more and coughs up some of this gray sludge, and you do notice a small bruise in the back of its throat. And as you inspect the body further and you look down, you see the glass slipper fall off of its foot. I'm not making that canon. But this thing gives one last shuddering groan as this arrow is buried in its chest, and it just stops moving.
Cool. Can I rip its chest open? I want to see what's inside.
And doctor to mortician.
Yeah, sure. Tarvok, you want your arrow back?
Oregon enthusiast. Yeah.
Well, no, I need to see if the sludge is just his insides, because if he's just a sludge guy.
Bjorn.
Huh?
Bjorn. Get me arrow back.
Okay. Dunk.
So
So
Tim kind of sees what
Fool.
Bjorn's about to do,
yeah.
and he walks up and he's like, "Don't make this messier than it needs to be," and he hands him a dagger.
Oh yeah, because George is gonna be like.
Just use the elbow. It's like
Just
biting
with
into
the
your
hammer.
can.
Just a
Tearing it
hammer.
open with his hands.
It's like, all right, let me see what's in here.
Does anyone play Surgeon
will, like,
Simulator?
I will,
Yeah.
I will accept this dagger.
Okay.
I'm gonna look inside.
Sure.
I mean,
All right. It doesn't
Sweet.
take much doing, but you put the dagger into the arrow hole and you just kind of jimmy his ribs, aka wooden slats, open a bit. And as you pry, they start to crack and splinter away, and you smell one of the most disgusting smells you've ever smelled. And you pry open the boards, and inside you do see a very black, very necrotic looking human heart. There's pools of ooze everywhere, and a few little remains, like a lung and maybe a spleen or something like that. You can't quite tell exactly what organs are left in there, but there's a couple. And yeah, it looks like half human, half object, if you will.
half a fucking barrel.
Basically, well, half a fucking treasure chest, basically.
I was just seeing if there's any treasure on the inside.
Vera's gonna walk up and be like, "What did you? Was this your doing?"
We didn't kill these men.
Oh. How did they get here?
Well, based on
Crickets.
some things that we've seen, they were mimics before.
But we didn't kill them.
Well, we killed that one.
Ah.
I mean,
We didn't. Why don't? Yeah, did we kill Cinderella?
I'm clipping that. Oh, that was great. Well, it was moving up until the point you, shot an arrow into it. I guess it caused it to move.
listen, if I see a human box hybrid, you're damn right I'm going to shoot it.
Snake! Snake! Snake!
Oh. And then so I think the blue slime is gonna hop off of Vera's shoulder and like go and nibble on a toe or something. Just like find a piece of body, and Vera's gonna be like, "Ew, Flu, that's gross."
Flu is its name?
Flu is its name.
Wonderful. All right, so Flu hops down, and yes, it nibbles on one of the toes of this one that just somehow passed away again. And
So I'm going to keep my boots on whenever you're around. That's how this is going to work. Because, I'm tiny enough as it is. If I lose any more mass, I'm going to look ridiculous.
I can just imagine Tarvok talking to this tiny little nibble slime.
and this thing is
While
just like
Bjorn's like ripping apart everything, and Tim's
Yeah.
just like, oh my
Slime's just
God.
nomming on some toes.
yeah, it's like, and that's the
Tim's
thing.
just counting his coin bag. Yup, no, I'm good.
It clearly doesn't have a face much like the other slime, but it's still, you can tell it's kind of turning up at you as it's like
With a toe in it.
like slurping at this toe, and it
You
as
don't
soon
know
as
where
it,
it's been. You don't know how dirty it is. I mean, it's been out there in the sand. I
It
get
just-
it. You can digest whatever you want, but you got to be healthy. Do you want a beer?
and with a tiny little squeal as it finally gets like some flavor off this toe, and I'm just using the word flavor, it recoils. It seems terrified, and with a large, like almost like a screeching squeal, it just shimmies back to Vera and crawls back up onto her shoulder. It did not like what it tasted.
Well, I'm giving it some delicious ration to get the taste of toe out now.
So I probably shouldn't have Bjorn try to taste the sludge. Because I was thinking about it.
There's only one way to find out. You gotta roll for it.
I don't think we have anything to cure a poison or a toxin.
Yeah.
I rolled a
If Flu
3.
doesn't like it. I'm
Bjorn
sure he
just takes
will.
her hand and goes, or his hand and goes,
Yeah, right.
nope.
I mean, I have cure wounds. It's fine.
So, two things Arthur wants to
Yes.
do here.
Okay.
One, he frantically starts flipping through the book, looking for drawings, diagrams, anything that represents what has happened to these people,
Mm-hmm.
whatever they are. And two, he wants to do an Arcana check just to kind of see, I don't know, just to look, just why not?
Okay. Roll your Arcana check, please. 19?
Yes.
All right. You inspect this body, and you kind of you rack your brain for information on what could have done this as you're flipping through the book. And you notice as you flip through, you remember the notes about security measures and the notes about better storage. And when you get to the page about better storage, you can't believe you didn't notice this before, but it was small diagrams of shapes kind of stacked in a very large area. And as you look closer at the diagram and you kind of focus your comprehend language, and you notice these drawings at the same time, you realize that underneath it, it says specimens, and there are small, tiny little what could be stick figures basically stacked in a very specific way in this book. And you notice as you're reading through this, it gives you the insight of oh shit, this is a little bit of necromancy going on here. But it's not any kind you've ever encountered before.
Listen,
So Arthur,
you should leave necromancers alone. They just want to raise a family in peace.
Ah.
They just want to crack open a cold one with the boys.
Ah.
so Arthur, frantically looking through the book, he goes, "Oh yes, something that I remembered reading earlier." And he kind of points and he shows everyone in the book the diagram. He says, "Necromancer," which would make a lot more sense. Well, considering we already kind of fought against him. And then he kind of like starts flipping through the book again.
Okay.
Oh, a necromancer is no laughing matter.
Well, to be fair, you more or less fought him. I just pissed him off.
All right. Tim, light the bodies on fire.
Oh, real quick, too. Does the
Mhm.
doll represent structurally anything in the book? Like, is this doll one of these things?
You know what? I'll make you do a history check from what you've read so far in the book.
Get that nat 20, Max.
Vera's gonna like look at the book and be like, "Oh,
16.
cool."
16? Okay.
Ooh,
But
books.
she says that Arthur, like, the book. Yes, there it is.
Yeah, through the night you did notice you did come across a page, and you remember this now in your morning grogginess, that you did come across a couple of pages where I believe the doll's name was Melinda. Am I mistaken?
It was
Yeah.
Melinda.
You do
That's
notice
correct.
the name Melinda
Melinda.
in there, and you do have a few drawings of this figure. They're very crude, but you kind of parse together, yes, this is the same figure of the doll. And just hearts and tears, like drawings of sadness and things
Sad
like
emojis.
lamentations and poems and whatnot.
It's just the Linkin Park
so
logo.
so like Melinda was Darius's like wife or something, and then she
Or daughter.
died, and then he
Or
became a
doll.
necromancer.
Or his doll.
And-
Or his doll.
So,
Anyway,
Bjorn, you shouldn't probably, do the meta thing.
No, he's talking out loud.
Oh, I'm paying attention. Sorry.
Okay, anyways, so
Yeah. Arthur's sharing all this.
Arthur? Vera's
Hey,
like
what?
sort of reaching for the book.
Arthur's like pulling away while you're doing this. Like, may you what?
Like, see the book?
Arthur's kind of just.
I worked hard to steal that. Please don't mess it up.
Yeah, Arthur's like looking at everybody else because, like, we don't know who she is. All we know is Alistar sent her, right?
yeah,
Mhm.
you know that she said that she was his assistant.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
So,
So
she
then
would
once she
likely
finishes-
she would likely be a researcher, I'm guessing. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay,
He-
that's right.
he is.
Yep. I remember that now. See, after she like kind of reaches and he waits for her to like really extend to like reach for the book, and he just kind of like hands it to her, so she has to like pull her arms back and take it.
Yes! And then she's definitely gonna flip through it. I mean, while
Sure.
nobody's doing anything.
Okay.
And Arthur will like show her the parts that he's already understood. So kind of like, oh, this is what I figured out with this, and then he kind of like catches her up on
Okay.
his previous readings.
Cool.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
that's good.
fascinating.
At this point, Tim will just help Bjorn set some bodies ablaze.
Sure. Okay.
need to get rid of them so he doesn't raise them back from the dead.
Yeah, you guys do set
Again.
the bodies ablaze. I'm gonna kind of fill this out a little bit more. You guys go over the hill a little bit more, and you notice that what was left of the market in the shadows still. The sun is starting to come up a little bit, but the mountains are still kind of casting some shadow at it. You can see it's just slowly getting to the edge. But yes, you do count all the bodies, and it turns out that there are 10 of them.
Before
So-
we burn the 10th body, though,
Yeah.
can Arthur ask out loud to the group? So I imagine like we're getting that last body to burn it, and he just kind of puts his finger up and he's like, before we burn the last of the evidence, do you think there's a way to track the origin from which necromancy was performed on an object? And he kind of like points down at the last remaining body.
So I haven't had to deal with the undead very much. So I don't know. I mean, normally I just put an arrow in things and then they don't come back.
I
It's
have
quite
detect-
effective.
Blowing myself up.
I mean, I just have detect evil and detect magic. I don't think that's really going to help us at the moment.
Oh, I forgot to mention this earlier, but I was imagining that Alistair would send Vera with a find object like scroll. If that makes sense, Ken.
That's a big ass fucking retcon, but sure.
Hey, so we do here. Name the channel.
You know what? Here, I'm gonna roll my d20. If it's 10 or higher, I will allow it.
All right.
I already rolled an 11.
I
Yeah, you're
love
good.
those odds.
You got a 14. You have one single find object
Yes.
scroll, and
Okay.
I think there are parameters around that as well. Correct?
Yeah, there are. I'll look it up real quick. I have my player's name book right. So yeah, so Vera's like, it wasn't relevant before, but I do have this scroll that it would help us find an object. But we have to focus on. I have to focus on something that, would lead us in the right direction.
What about a doll?
Well, you know where the doll is.
Yeah.
How are they
No,
says
what
that,
I
aren't
mean,
they?
like,
Oh, it's
I
like
don't-
So,
I'm
let me-
pretty sure
I have the
though.
doll.
Let me
No,
read the
I
spell
think
to
what-
you.
I
I'll read
think
the
what
spell
Tim
to you guys, and
means-
you'll know exactly how it works. But I think I know what Tim means too. So describe or name an object that is familiar to you. You sense the direction
Yes.
to the object's location as long as that object is within 1,000 feet of you. If the object is in motion, you know the direction of movement. The spell can locate a specific object known to you as long as you've seen it up close within 30 feet at least once. Alternatively, the spell can locate the nearest object of a particular kind, such as a certain kind of apparel, jewelry, furniture, tool, or weapon. This spell can't locate an object if any thickness of lead, even a thin sheet, blocks a direct path between you and the object.
So, I
So
can hand
she
it
wouldn't
over
be
to
able to
someone
use it,
else.
so we would be able to use it.
Yeah. I think him would be the best one to do it.
I don't know
What's
what
the
you're
Yeah,
trying to
Tim's
locate.
been the
but yeah.
closest.
So, if we're looking for Darius and the other 5 Darii, pretty sure they're down with the chicken.
Right, we've already seen him. We know where he's at.
I don't think we have to worry about him right now.
What do we need to look for?
Well,
what
maybe
about
we could.
something Mason's fond
Well,
of?
yes, we're looking for Mason, aren't we?
That's a much better idea.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I forgot about him.
Obsessed about the chicken,
Thus,
forgot
We've
about
come
it.
reason
full
to
circle.
find the casting of the magic.
So,
I mean, we've all seen Mason, but Arthur's the closest to Mason, so I think
That's-
Arthur should do it.
that's what I was thinking.
Well, what is the check of the scroll, first of all? Because it might be more effective for Tim to do it. I think
There is no check. You use it and
You just do it.
Oh,
It's
you
a
just use it?
divination.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, then
Well, you have
Yeah,
to be able to
I guess.
cast Arcane, I think, already.
He can cast magic. He's a bard.
yeah.
Yeah, so that
So-
makes sense.
Okay. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
handed it over.
Arthur
Teamwork.
take the scroll and he just like unrolls it,
Thanks, Vera.
like flips it over, so he's reading it the right way, and then he concentrates very hard on I don't even know what object. Mason's favorite coin, maybe. Well, no, that might not be with him anymore.
So
Can you focus on Mason's hair?
I'm gonna give you a history check on this, Arthur, to see if there's anything that you
Okay.
recall that Mason
Yeah.
is particularly
It's a
fond of.
hair.
It's
a
an
toupee.
object, and it's not him.
16.
He's got a gangsta gold tooth.
His tattoo on his lower back.
His
Tramp
tramp
stamp.
stamp. Jake's.
It says glory.
And then an arrow pointing to his butt.
Oh Lord.
Jeez.
Oh goodness. Okay. All right. So, did you roll me an insight check? I'm sorry, I got lost in the
Yes.
tramp stamp there.
Yeah, 16.
16. All right. You recall Mason, your good friend, always going wherever he was and always wearing the amulet that matched his father's. And he absolutely loved that thing.
Oh yeah, we know that too.
Hey, what was the item? Sorry.
It was an amulet in the shape of the maintenance department's logo. He
Right.
crafted this one himself. You remember him telling you how happy he was to follow in his father's footsteps. And he really hoped to maybe be the head of the maintenance department someday, just like his dad. And this necklace was one that he made himself that was very similar to his father's. And the only difference is it just looked like it was kind of crudely crafted out of some spare parts that he found, but very much resembled the same thing that his dad wore, which was a very finely crafted amulet.
So Arthur's picturing this in his mind, and he kind of like reads through the correct symbols or words or whatever's on this scroll to allow him to use this spell. And he kind of closes his eyes and just kind of concentrates and really thinks about it. Almost to the point where he forgets he's even casting a spell. He's just really thinking about Mason and trying to find him.
All right. So as you're thinking about this amulet and you're holding the scroll in your hand, it just disintegrates into a puff of smoke in your hand, and the smoke kind of swirls around a little bit in front of your face, and then just goes whoosh and washes itself over your face, and you see a vision of almost
Google Maps.
Yeah, someone drops a pin on your location, and
It will take you 30 minutes to
And-
walk
and-
to here. Take a left at the pyramid.
Yeah, I order a Lyft and an Uber. See which one's cheaper.
and then some random dude shows up and says, "Hey, is the temperature okay?" All right,
You guys want to hear a rap that I wrote?
Yeah, you want to hear my mixtape? All right. So,
AF.
so as this vision kind of comes over you, it's more of a feeling of, you know exactly where that piece is. You know exactly where that amulet is, and it is about 100 meters down, and like directly underneath the center of that pyramid. 100 meters down is what you're sensing. It's not moving either.
So Arthur looks up to everybody. His eyes a little teary-eyed, and he just kind of goes, "Well, son of a bitch, it's straight down." And he just kind of looks at the ground, realizing, like, we do need to get into that door. Like, it's just all come full circle. Like,
Or full pyramid.
or just kind of...
No.
Is the well
Like, he
still
throws almost like-
there?
All right, so you do a perception check, and you know what? You don't do a perception check. You look around.
Are you sure?
Fuck it.
I
You
got a
go-
20.
All right, Tarvok.
Tarvok, pay attention!
Tarvok, as Tim is about to fireball the last body, you look over and you see that there's still a few random items strewn across the ground, and the well is still standing there, and the light is starting to approach from the mountain as the sun is starting to come up, and it's sorry, not the light is starting to approach from behind you guys. Sorry, the shadow's starting to recede towards the mountain as the sun starts to come up, and
On the well.
and it's getting closer and closer to the well.
Okay, so, maybe I hate to actually admit it for once, but Bjorn's probably right. I think we actually have to go down that well. This being said, Tim, instead of lighting that corpse on fire, do you think maybe you could use the corpse as the center for a darkness spell? Oh no, you don't have it yet. Shit. Fuck. Never mind. Ret-Con.
How are we going to go down?
We're just gonna jump and put our hands and feet on the side, and hopefully we don't die.
Anybody have Featherfall?
Yeah. About that.
Oh,
Let's go.
Okay.
let's go.
All right, you guys all you crash towards this well, and you see the shadow like sinking ever closer to it. How are you guys? So Featherfall, tell me please, how does that work?
You gotta give us a nice
Here, I'll
touch-in
I'll
before
look
we
it up
can
real
jump
quick.
down.
Yeah. Is that a cantrip or is that a spell?
It is a
bonus levels?
spell. First level,
Okay.
yep.
Oh, cool. So you guys got a few of
All
those.
right.
I got it if you want.
Choose up to 5 falling creatures within range. A falling creature's rate of descent slows to 60 feet per round until the spell ends.
There's 5 of us.
Oh my goodness.
Only one of you needs to do it.
Yeah, I think one of us should be able to just cast it on everyone.
And
Yeah,
then when
one
the,
of us.
Oh, I think it'd be funny. Arthur's just like,
One
all right,
of
nope,
us.
by the farm, by the farm, by the ball. Giving everybody a good pat on the back.
it's watching a bunch of
A
soldiers
slap
on the
run
ass.
away.
Good game. Good
Yeah,
game.
yeah. Arthur's the last one down. So when Tim makes the comment of like, yeah, one of us, and he's looking at Arthur, he kind of like pushes Tim towards the well, and he kind of like casts it on him. And then same thing with Bjorn, and he just kind of like down the well, you know. And I imagine, well, you guys choose what you want to do, but I imagine everyone goes down.
All right.
Well, since I know I'm doing this, I jump, spin in midair, and go okay.
It's float.
I collect the slimes and like hold them, and then jump.
All right. All right. So Arthur is casting Featherfall on all of you. This will only eat up one spell slot,
Cannonball!
and you all just kind of hop into this well. It's a
Arthur
very crude
waits.
well. Yeah.
He waits.
All right.
He climbs in the well, and he just kind of like holds himself there for a second. He kind of like waits for the sun a little bit more above, and as it's about to reach the well, he does one more kind of like look around to see if anyone was watching them or anything at all, and then he lets go of the well and kind of sinks down. I imagine right as it kind of like starts to vanish or however it goes away.
Okay. Yeah. You
I feel
you
like
do
it's a
look
good idea.
around at all the surroundings one more time before you drop down. Roll me an insight check, actually, please.
13.
13. It's on the tip of your tongue where you guys are. You can't quite place it. It's on the tip of your tongue. And what distracts you from really figuring out this location is you realize that in your guys' commotion, Tim didn't actually cast Fireball on that last body. And it's just laying there, and you just kind of see it in your vision as you drop down. It's not moving or anything. But as you drop down, and the rest of you are below Arthur, you can look up and you see like the slight glow of his crown above you, and the well itself just starts to get swallowed up. It's not even like a vanish. It just kind of like crumbles in on itself, and it starts to collapse as you see the last little bit of sunshine. As the sun finally comes up and illuminates this well, you start to see rocks falling towards you guys.
As I'm falling, I'm chinging my little helmet.
Yeah, you can all see just fine now at this point. But you all see rocks falling down upon you. I'm gonna need you guys all to roll a dex check for me, please, to try and avoid these rocks as they come crashing down.
Yeah.
Nat 20.
Nat 20.
17.
Makes sense.
19.
21.
17.
Tim?
I got 16
Arthur's-
plus 5.
We are dexterous.
That's pretty good. Arthur's
Tim?
trying to like redirect the rocks. They don't hit people below him.
Okay.
So I imagine
21.
He
Yeah.
just crit 20. Like as
21.
they're falling, he's just kind of like pushing them.
Yeah, with that 20, I think that's definitely warranted. You start smacking them as they come flying past you, almost Luke Skywalker-ish, and yeah, they
deflecting rocks.
yeah, and they all
With
seem
the
to kind
staff.
of bounce around on the inside of this well. It's about 5 or 6 feet in diameter, and they just kind of ricochet down. And as you guys are still falling, you feel like you're probably about halfway down. You hear the as they all start to hit the water below you, or what sounds like water. And yeah, you
Ominous.
continue to fall. You do all successfully dodge those rocks. Luckily, you guys all rolled super high. And you start to notice as you're falling that it starts to widen out into this massive cavern, and below you is a giant pool of liquid, and you're coming at it at the rate of 60 feet a second or something like that, or per round. We're not in combat,
Very,
though.
very slowly.
Yeah, you're falling at about half speed here.
Oh.
Arthur's gonna
Um,
push off of the wall or something to try and change his direction, to try to aim. He's gonna quickly take a look. He has dark vision.
Okay.
So he's gonna look for dry land, I guess you could call it.
Mm.
And he's gonna like push himself off something to aim for the dry area.
Mhm.
And he's gonna grab onto somebody if they haven't noticed, like
Okay.
I don't know, the dry area, I
Um,
guess you could say.
I think the closest person to you is probably Bjorn, because he cannonballed
Hello.
in.
Yeah. I'm slowly cannonballing, just
Yeah, I think it was like one of those "Hey guys, watch me" moments. Dad, are you watching? Are you watching?
Are you still watching? Are you still watching?
Yeah.
As he's slowly
Forever.
falling
Yeah.
down.
And
I would like to do thaumaturgy and like make myself like a streak of lightning.
before you do
like-
that, I'm gonna need Arthur to roll his dex check to try and push off that last bit of wall.
Save me, Arthur.
19.
19. All right, you managed to like almost aboard the International Space Station, push off the wall, and grab onto Bjorn's pant leg, and
Imagine
And
Bjorn
you
just
grab
spinning.
it. Woo!
yeah, this
He's like a
this
cannonball. He's spinning out.
lightning coated,
Oh my
Cleric
God. Now I definitely
your
am
hand.
lightning. Now I'm like a lightning ball. Just
and you guys just kind of tumble towards the edge of the pool, and you land with a soft thud. Everybody else,
Is there an edge of the pool?
there is a slight edge of the pool. It's about 5 feet. It's kind of a path around it, and
I think Vera would also try to.
yeah, I'll
get
give you guys all
there.
the same opportunity to push off that
Yeah.
last bit of wall, because you all would have seen the same thing.
Well, I got dark vision too.
Yeah,
So is this
Yeah.
a saving
I
throw or
also have dark
standard
vision.
check?
it's gonna be a dex check to try and push off.
I got a nat 20.
Nat 20.
18.
Sweet flips. Okay. And Vera,
Vera's gonna use Eco as a hand again.
it's a slappy hand.
To sort
All right.
of, to sort of like grab
The wall
You
and
know,
kind of
the
pull.
wall.
Spider Vera.
All right. So you mean the wall down in the chamber or the wall in the well?
Is the wall in the chamber within?
It's a big
30
fucking
feet?
room. It's like
okay.
it's
In-
like a
in that case,
60-foot
I'll-
diameter room.
I'll push
Cavern.
off of the ceiling then, or the
Okay.
whatever,
All right.
like everybody else is doing.
sure,
So that'll
okay.
be a 14.
14. All right. Tarvok, you gracefully like somersault and tuck your knees as you flip backwards towards the edge. Tim, you just kind of like casually glide off to the side as you kick
I
off
like
with
to
your
think
feet.
that like because Bjorn was spinning, Bjorn like lands like, and then Tarvok just lands on top of him like this, like a gymnast.
Ha, whoop, hey.
Yeah.
All right, Vera, you didn't quite meet the 15 I was hoping for.
Fair enough.
I will say you.
You kind of dump your foot against the wall and it kind of breaks off a little bit of the stone, and you start tumbling towards the edge where everyone else is, but you just barely get towards the edge and you go splashing into this pool.
Oh no, the slimes freak out. They don't
Yeah.
like the water.
Yeah, they're like gremlins.
like-
Don't get them wet.
Holding, like holding them up.
Yeah. You do notice
Throw
that
them here.
even at 5'2" or whatever she is that how tall you said she was?
Yeah, yeah.
Even,
she's
even at
pretty short.
5'2", Vera, you can very much touch bottom with your feet.
Oh,
I'm
and,
so glad
uh,
I didn't jump into that.
I just like walk over.
Yeah, you just sludge over, and you actually realize that you're actually standing in a very crystalline pool of water. It is nothing but water. I know I kind of worried you guys a little bit with
Ooh,
that.
isn't that what he said? Isn't that what he said in the journal? Arthur, he said that in the journal.
Said what?
Water. In the journal.
Do I remember reading water in the journal?
You do, yes. You remember the words.
Oh yes, I've known the whole
very
time.
refreshing. Refreshing.
the water.
Very
I
refreshing.
just really
water
did
or
not
something
want to
like
get
that.
wet.
The refreshing water. It's like the journal.
It's almost as if there was a hint that you guys should have looked at the well for refreshing water.
No, it's fine.
Keck.
Yeah,
Alright.
but
Ah,
if you
so something
see a
abnormal.
demon dude go into the well,
True. All right, so you guys.
your first instinct, jump after him. He's pissed. You feel very, very upset by seeing him pissed.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was slapped on the wrist for trying to go down the well already. Slapped on the wrist for trying to open a door.
No running at the pool.
Vera being all wet, she like
Go again.
holds
Say again. What was
food.
that?
Stop
You're-
it.
Okay, so-
You heard what I said.
yes.
Yeah, she holds Flu out in front of her and does like a prestidigitation cleaning thing.
Okay.
And dries herself off, but Flu kind of like goes whoosh around her and then
Okay.
plops back in her hand.
Beautiful. All right. You are all standing on the edge of the pool with little excuse me, sorry, voice crack, water. With little slimes shaking water off of themselves. And yeah, and as you all look around you, please make a perception check, please.
24.
19.
6.
24.
16.
All right, everyone but Tarvok, who is now like looking at the water and kind of getting his face.
He's
closer
just too
to-
impressed with his sweet
Checking.
flips. He's like,
Hey, did you see that? Did you see that? I'm like,
The trick is
shove
having
him-
a low center of gravity.
It's true.
The rest of you notice that this room is fed by a small spring. Well, not so small, maybe. It's a decent. I'd say it's like 6 bathtub faucets worth of water, kind of pouring out of the sandstone wall that is behind you guys. The direction that you're facing, you do notice that there's a bit of a drop, and there is the water from the pool is kind of spilling over the edge, and it's causing a small stream throughout what appears to be a 15-foot circumference tunnel. There are paths on either side, like just of dry land. Doesn't seem very worn, but there are places for you to walk, and this stream just kind of goes straight ahead and winds a little bit to the right.
I'm gonna follow the stream.
Arthur follows
Yeah.
Bjorn.
All right.
on the path.
Finishes drying off and is like, oh, we're walking.
All right. What's your guys' marching order here? Because this is a tunnel, so.
I'm going to be second and last.
Yarn's
So-
I'll go
first.
second.
I'll be in the back.
Okay. And then I guess Tim.
Tim's after me.
Okay.
Little light
All right, so it's
something.
going to go Bjorn, Arthur, Tim, Tarvok, Dira. All right.
Arthur's playing music.
Beautiful. What are you playing? Thunderstruck?
Just like a house bells,
Highway
really.
to the danger zone.
Actually, yeah,
Appropriate.
that's what he's playing. Actually, yeah.
Kenny loggings.
Loggings? All right.
Leggings, loggings, lennings, whatever.
Kenny's leggings. That's it. I'm wearing
That's-
leggings from
that's
now
a magic item.
on. All right. So you guys, you kind of trudge along down the side of this stream, and you notice that the path that you're on, it seems like the remains of an old road on the left side of the stream. And you kind of make your way along, and it starts to become more apparent that it is a road, and the stream starts to curve off to the right, and it eventually kind of disappears down into the wall and starts to stream down through cracks in the bottom of the wall, and the road continues up forwards for about, I'd say, 100 meters or so, and it's just a simple cobblestone road. There's no marking or anything on it. You don't see any other signs. But as you continue along, you start to see corners of like brick buildings sticking out from this sandstone. And from what you guys gather, it seems that there used to be a small village or even town here. There's no doorways.
Do I recognize it?
You don't recognize it, but the architecture is very familiar.
Am I able to do
so I
history-
suppose you
like
do
a stone
recognize the
check on it?
architecture. Sure.
Because again, I have that stone history thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So just as a, where is it? I have stone cunning. So just as a
Mhm.
refresher, I can do an intelligence, which is a history check related to any origin of stonework, and I'm proficient, but I get double my proficiency bonus instead of my normal proficiency bonus.
Okay.
So it's not
Good.
bad.
All right. Go ahead and
Wow.
roll that for me, please.
All right, so So I rolled a 7 and a 4, so 11.
All right. Remind me again. 1 second here. Sorry. Okay. Yes. All right. So, not revealing too much about you, Tarbok, but from the mountainous area that you've hailed for most of your life in that region, you remember hearing tell of this type of architecture way in the past. It does remind you of this pyramid, in a way, but it seems more familiar to you. It is slightly different. It's made of a different type of stone. It's almost like a hardened sandstone. And you recall that it's kind of reminiscent of some stone that would come from the mines of Tethyamar, which is very, very desert based region, of course, that you recall your folks in the past talking about. You've never been there, but from your studies as a young dwarf, you do recall that was something that was mentioned as a very ancient region that was very known for its stonework. Are you going to relay this information? I don't know.
Of course I am. So
okay.
Just pretend that our glorious GM is doing this in a really bad accent.
Yes. So you say
that Bjorn would be able to glean from it in like religious sense?
You don't get any religious vibes from these buildings.
Cool.
You don't. I'm not even going to make you roll for that. You don't get any. They seem like very plain buildings. However, the stone cutting and the architecture does strike that chord with Tarbok, and he mentions the mines of Tethyamar. Arthur, go ahead and roll me another history check with advantage, please.
I'm sort of a history buff.
24.
24. All right.
I took 2 rolls. First one was a 9.
So, in the smack dab middle of the Anarok Desert, from where you are from originally in Agrabah, which we need to fucking rename.
Nope. I'm
Keep
never
looking
gonna
out
remember it if
for-
it's not Agrabah.
You
Damn,
Yeah, I'm looking for a
recall.
genie vase still.
Fuck's sakes.
Disney gonna copyright strike us.
You
You
recall
say that.
the Plains of Shimmering Death being a story of legend from your youth.
Great! The Plains of Shimmering Death! Great!
Well,
Bjorn, I could not have said it more enthusiastically myself.
it sounds like a lovely place that I'll never visit, but that's okay.
You this entire time you've remembered it almost Atlantis like stories that you have been told as a youth, of a place that has long since vanished, and that nobody has been able to find. And you recall it being built from the stones from the mines of Tethyamar, and it is somewhere in the southern region of where you are originally from.
Found it.
So yeah, I think Vera is
Found it.
right. I think if we put 2 and 2 together, which sometimes can be difficult when you're drunk, but I think maybe that's exactly how it works. Actually, yes, that's how I do it in my sleep. But whatever. So, I mean, if it's a missing city, I mean, it's obviously sunk or just blown over by thousands of years of wind and sand.
Why death? Why is it at the Shimmering Isles of Peace? Or what was it? The Shimmering what?
Because
It was
when
it
it
was
vanished,
the
everybody
Plains
died.
of Shimmering Death, I believe is what I
Plains
called
of, why couldn't it be the Plains of Shimmering Grass?
Have you seen any grass
Middle
in
of
the desert, Bjorn?
Right? Again, I mean, he's a lovely man, but he's a little dense.
it. All right.
Another thing to get used to, I suppose.
We never do. I mean, Tim's always constantly angry. I think it's Bjorn. Couldn't it be me? I mean, I'm lovely. I don't know if you figured this out yet.
Anyway. And
So
Arthur's
you're all
gonna
standing
tell
at these
the tale.
buildings. Mm-hmm. Sorry.
Tell the tell of
Oh, no,
shivering
Arthur's
flames
just-
of doom.
Yeah, he just starts talking about what it is and who it is, and I haven't made up a tale about this place.
All right.
So he starts. I mean, I guess I could try, but
Sure.
I know we're getting to the end here, so no, we're getting to the end of the session. I'll save it for another next time. But yeah, he does talk about it, and
All right.
Thanks, I hate
and
it.
and what you go on to tell people is that you recall these stories from your youth, and you say basically that you recall that this was a town or a city built from the mines of Tethymar, from their wonderful stonemasonry, and the mines were on the outskirts of the Anarok Desert, and they had to be carted in for miles and miles and miles for this very specific town that was a wonderful, wonderful trade town. And the legend has it that the town just suddenly disappeared one day, and it still has its spirit somewhere in the desert that seems to swallow people whole every now and then.
Was there a Darius in
He
that
doesn't-
tale?
He doesn't recall any names from the tale, just that this mysterious town, when someone goes venturing out for it, they never seem to come back.
Arthur shares that part of it. Then his face gets really sad, and he goes, "Well, I suppose we may never come back if the legends are true." And then he kind of looks over at the stone, and he goes, "Some fun facts. It's said that the stones themselves contain a shimmery essence within them." And he starts like kind of like scraping at one to see if it's true or not.
You sure, yeah, you scrape away at the stone, and there is some strange, almost glittery features to them that have been covered up by all the dust of being down underground for so long. And yeah,
So just to interject,
Mhm.
I do have a bunch of stone cutting tools. I would imagine I had polish as well. So if we really want to have a look,
While they're doing that, I'm going to be cleaning my magic carpet very gently.
sure,
Stefan.
step on the carpet.
Hell yeah.
all
On
right.
the
So
carpet.
I'm gonna go over with Arthur because I'm interested in the stonework myself, and I just clean it up as best I can without doing any damage to it, so we can have a better look.
Sure. And what you reveal is this absolutely breathtaking, almost like a limestone that has like a quartz woven through it and some shimmery, glittery substance that you don't really. It's some sort of fine mineral that isn't really that pricey. However, it's very, very beautiful to look at in this stone, and it all but confirms everything that Arthur's been saying. And this house, as you guys start to clean away some of it, you can tell that it seems to be a bit of a house, as I just said. It doesn't seem like it was a business or anything. This entire wall that was kind of stuck out from the side of this cavern, you look and you kind of peer in one of the little ports that kind of served as a window. And there's no doors, unfortunately, present on this wall. But you peer into one of the ports and you can see a very broken down interior. There's no furniture around or anything like that. There's some random drapes and some random bits of cloth and cushion and just tons of piles of sand and dust inside. And yeah, that's all you really see.
Oh, pretty.
So Arthur, yeah, as Torvok does an awesome job like cleaning it up, Arthur like steps back and he's like watching like, wow, you're very, very, very good at that. And he kind of like stands back and he snaps his fingers, and his like crown grows a little bit brighter. It's like it really like lights up the side of like the stone, and it's very like shiny. And Arthur kind of like undistracts himself, and he's trying to figure out which way to go now to find Mason. Like he remembers, like this breathtaking, this is amazing what he's found, but he remembers Mason. So he tries to figure out where he needs to go from here.
And as you're doing that, you basically turn back towards where this stream is headed, and that's in the same direction that you recall following. It is in the same direction of the tip of that pyramid.
Well, it looks like we're going to be having a bit of a brawl here, guys. If we're going back and following the water, I mean, there's no wind down here. But, I mean, we've been here long enough. I think I've got a lay of the land. And yeah, Arthur's right. I mean, I think this is going to bring us back to where we were before. Just on the other side, though.
I'm glad you guys have a sense of direction.
Roll me a perception check, everyone.
Oh no.
17.
17.
19 plus
Ooh, really
1.
well today.
Finally,
I got a
Tarbok
20.
notices something.
20! Not a natural, though. Just added.
Tim got a
Yeah,
1.
that's what I got too.
Tim, what'd you get? Yeah. That'd be a 1. All right.
He abstains from the roll.
All right, sorry, and Vera?
9.
9. All right. So the three of you who rolled higher than 10, you hear a faint sobbing coming from further down the river.
Wait, what?
Sobbing.
Oh, sobbing. Okay.
It's a witch.
Oh god.
I'm not okay with this. I'm going to go and see what's wrong.
Wait.
I follow Bjorn if he doesn't stop.
Just don't run, you fool. We're clearly dealing with something we don't want to be dealing with. Let's go slow.
Okay.
And make sure we don't die.
Okay. I will go slowly. But like
Like,
But it could be Mason.
Like sneaking slowly, like on my tiptoes. Like,
All right.
It doesn't have to be that slow. Just walk.
You can
Arthur
roll a
runs.
stealth check if you want, sure.
Yes. I'm
Arthur
also-
runs, sorry.
Yeah, he thinks it's Mason.
10.
I'm gonna roll stealth as well. I'm actually.
clank, 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 clank.
You know what? If we're rolling stealth,
I got a 21 for stealth.
It's
Like,
no
Tarbok
use.
disappears while I'm just like.
It's no
Is this
use.
what you mean by sneaking?
So Arthur's gonna run past Bjorn, who's like, "Bah, bah, 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 bah," like Kronk from Emperor's New
Yeah.
Groove.
and copyright strike.
Darius,
Disney, if you want to
leave us
sponsor us.
alone.
Anyways, so
Hey, Disney, we
Arthur-
haven't listed any
Arthur
of our
just, like,
subordinates.
Arthur just scoots
You can't
past,
be mad at us. No.
and as you guys kind of go bounding down this river or this creek or whatever you want to call it, the sobbing starts to get louder and louder, and you hear it sounds like a woman's voice.
It's a witch.
It's a lich.
Arthur slows down when he realizes it's not Mason.
Okay.
Will Bajorn have caught up by now?
Yeah, you guys all kind of
Shh,
catch up to
Arthur.
Arthur.
We have to be quiet.
and you
Tarbok
see
said so.
you see as this road has widened out fully in front of you. There are a few buildings still jutting out from the left side of this tunnel, and you can see the tunnel actually kind of widens out to the right into a big opening. And at the very end of where this stream has the stream has long since ducked into the wall, and it's no longer there, and you're now standing on nothing but cobblestone road. And then dead ahead of you, you see a massive portcullis with a even larger door behind it that seems to be made from stone, and the portcullis is totally closed.
So
And
Not an archway.
All right, yeah, I walk through the archway.
it is an archway with a portcullis that comes down from the center of it that blocks another door behind that. With some stairs leading up
Blocks
to it.
an archway. Okay.
So it's a
Yeah.
wall. Okay.
Technically.
Got it.
Never door.
But as you guys know, portcullises can be raised and lowered.
Oh.
Anyways.
I actually didn't know. I don't know what
Yes,
a portcullis
it's-
is.
I
It's
didn't
like
think she
it's
did.
like the cage thing that comes
Like, I
down.
don't even know what's going on.
All right, Bjorn, you child.
So is it currently lowered?
It is lowered, yes.
Oh,
it's
okay.
Ruthie, it's the gate that comes down in front of a door typically that also serves as like a double security sally port kind of thing.
Oh. okay.
Those things, like a drawbridge, but
Oh.
not a bridge.
So people can stab people through and things are attacking.
Yeah, there you go.
That's
shoot arrows
nice.
and whatnot.
We should stab someone.
So there's that, and then as this tunnel kind of widens out to the right, you also notice that there's a small gatehouse there, and beside the small gatehouse, in front of the door, is a figure of a small woman, completely cloaked in like a white wispy silk, and she has her head buried in her hands and dark hair kind of falling around her shoulders, and she is slowly sobbing.
Shh. I will
What
talk
legends
to
do
her.
I know? Oh, God.
I will talk to her, and if she attacks us, Tarbok, just be ready to shoot. Tim.
I'm like hidden. I'm like standing on like part of the wall, like in the shadow with my bow and arrow already.
Tim, be ready to firebolt, but don't firebolt yourself. Vera, get your slimes ready.
Okay, if as soon as you say that, she like makes Eco go to her hand, and then Eco turns into a whip.
Nice.
Don't be intimidating, Luffy. Small.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna go the lady. As unintimidating as possible. That is a just 6-foot man.
Hello,
ma'am.
Okay, I'm going to go up to him and say,
This is consensual,
you-
right?
are you in need of assistance?
Okay. Is that where we're gonna leave it this week? No. I got one more thing.
What's her face look like?
I've got one
What
more
is it?
thing for you, Bjorn. You turn
I'll
to this lady, and you walk up very cautiously, almost sneakily, I would say.
I think it's more of like it's like a wild animal kind of sneak. Like,
Yeah.
hey, you.
So you know what?
are gonna...
Roll me a sneak check on that, please.
Ah,
Or stealth
okay.
check. Sorry.
Okay. 16.
All right. Yeah. You make it within about 5 feet of this woman, and as she's sobbing, you say hello. And what was it? Sorry.
Do you need assistance?
And before you get through the rest of that sentence,
Dang it, assistance is too big of a word.
Darius turns around. Hello again.
parts his hair. No.
Bitch.
Pulls the wig
That's
off.
where we'll leave
Yeah,
it.
no, it's not Darius.
My name's Melinda.
All right, so this fuck's sakes. This hulking figure of Bjorn walks up and offers assistance to this crying woman. And I can't believe it's taken this much build up, but she turns to you ever so slowly, and as she pulls her hands away from her face, her jaw is unnaturally unhinged lower, and she screams at you
It's a
as loud as she
fucking
can.
I had a
And
feeling.
Use the rod.
that is where we're gonna leave it this week.
Run!
Don't fucking name this Banshee Cinderella.
Hello,
Cinderella 2.
Cinderella 2. The
Just
band.
if we're going
Cinderella,
blue, just name
Cinderella.
us Stacia Gray. Gawk, gawk, gawk.
Oh my god. And copy strike from Pornhub. No.
God damn it.
All right.
That would be impressive.
That is where we're gonna leave it this week. I thank you guys.
My B peeps. I gotta
Yes.
go, so
It's okay. It's a perfect spot, I think, to leave us at. So next week we're gonna be rolling for initiative, and so make sure you warm those dice up and those phone apps.
At least everyone's ready. Like I told Tarbog, I told Tim, I told everyone, get ready.
That's
Mhm.
true.
So I'm the only one that's not ready. So
All
I
right.
try to look unintimidating as possible.
So again, thank you guys so much for coming by this week. Welcome to everybody new who's come in this week, and thank you for the follows and all the kind words. Again, let your friends know about us. We love having more and more people in here, and love reading your guys's. I love reading your guys's chat as we're playing. Honestly, sometimes I get to say some of the things that you're mentioning, but sometimes I don't, and I apologize if there's some gold that I'm missing there. I'm gonna update this screen for Vera as well, so that we have her stats and everything. We're gonna get you guys.
Yeah, I'll get that.
Yes, it's all good. This strange spell magic lady who is good with slime. Anyways, thank you guys again.
Druid?
We can't wait to
Sounds
see you
like
guys
she's
next
gotta
week.
make the moisture.
Maybe this weekend we might try to get that After Hours podcast out. We'll kind of bring everyone up to speed on how we felt about everything in the past. If you guys are open to it, we'll see how many of us will hop in and record some of that. So if we can get all of us, great. If not, we'll try and get some of us because we all have things that we do. But we love you guys so much. Thank you for swinging by. And
Well, I like you. I mean,
Tarvok's a loving guy. He just
I'm not
hates
letting
saying
you
it.
inside me.
What?
Good lord.
On that note,
Have a wonderful week, everyone.
great week. We'll see you next
Talk to
week.
you on the weekend. Bye.
Thanks again for joining the Ret-Con-Artists. We hope you guys are ready for next week because some shit's gonna hit the fan. We'll see you next Tuesday, everyone. Be safe. Take care.